Bobbins Knits podcast. I haven't done it for such a long time, but I was sat here in bed very luxuriously on a Sunday morning watching vlogmases, and I just thought, oh, I would so love to catch up with everybody. I did vlogmas for the last couple of years, last few years, I can't remember how many, and I just loved the sort of community around it and the interactions with people. And I started watching vlogmas at the beginning of December and really missed it and really thought, oh, I wish I was doing that, but I just couldn't at the moment. I'm probably, like most people, exhausted because of this pandemic life we're living, and I'm always attached to my son, so I don't really want him on here. I had far too many comments of last vlogmas about how his hair was long, so I must have wanted a girl, and you know, I just have not got time for that rubbish. So he's got long hair because it's beautiful and he loves swishing it, so, but I don't need to justify that. Anyway, so yeah, I was just sat watching vlogmases this morning and really missed interacting with everyone, so I thought, okay, quickly, while David and my son are outside, I'm going to get everything set up and try and do a little video. So it's just me and Bobby. Come say hello, Bobby. Oh, we're here. Little Bobbin is just wonderful. We found out a little while ago that he's got heart disease. He's got heart murmur. It's a genetic thing. And he's on medication now, but oh, it's just really hard, isn't it? Finding out something like that you know will sort of limit the length of his life. It's just really hard to cope with, because he's just such a, oh gosh, such a special little animal. And he's so robust and just wonderful. I think I can easily sort of imagine that he will just be around forever. So hearing something like that rocks that notion, no matter how unrealistic, is just a little bit hard to come to terms with, isn't it, baby? Oh, but yes. He's very happy though. We wouldn't even know that there was anything going on for him if he hadn't have he had to go and have some dental work, and he had a heart scan and at the same time, because he's 12 now. So we wouldn't have even known if it hadn't been for that, really. So they caught it really early, and yes, we're doing our best for him because he always does his best for us. Wonderful boy. So I've got quite a lot of things to show you, and I thought I'd start with my Christmas pattern. I can't believe it is the 8th year of Christmas Eve cast on now. I was looking it up when I was writing about these socks. 8 years, can you believe it? I know that some people have knit along all those 8 years, which is just so exciting. But yeah, in the last few years, if you haven't heard of, well, I imagine you have heard of it, because Christmas Eve cast on seems to be everywhere now, which is just so lovely. The thought of everyone coming together and just casting on Christmas Eve is just so lovely. But about 8 years ago, we had I mentioned that I cast on a pair of socks every Christmas Eve, and we had a little chat about it in the Ravelry group, and it turned into a knit along. And then every year it's happened since, and for the last sort of, I think it's 4 or 5 years. I'm terrible with time, it's just has no substance for me. It could be I'm not very good at recalling things in a time frame. Anyway, so I think it's 4 or 5 years, but I'm not sure. I've designed a Christmas pattern especially for the Christmas Eve cast, and it's by no means the pattern that you have to knit if you do Christmas Eve cast on. it's just a pattern that you can knit that I've designed because I really enjoy doing that. So yes, this is the pattern that I designed this year. You need to see it from the front really. It's got these little trees going up the sock. This stitch, you'll notice, has been on a couple of my other patterns, and I just love it. I think it's got a real sort of, it just sort of allows me to do a sort of drawing line in knitting, and I just really enjoy that. It's nice and crisp and subtle and so simple to do, and I really like those stitches that are simple but look so effective. They look like they were much less simple than they actually were. So yeah, they've got little trees and then these little bubbles on the top, like little stars at the tops of the trees, and the rest is just stocking stitch because I really like Christmas Eve cast-ons to be quite simple, because it's a busy time, isn't it, and I like it to have a little bit of detail but then just be really nice to knit on if you're lucky enough to be spending time with friends or family. Then yeah, you don't have to concentrate too much. They're called the Tinsel Trees socks, and the yarn is from Nora George Yarns, and Tracy did these wonderful sets of yarn for the socks. So this was the snowy set, and she also did one that I think it was called the blush set. It's the most glorious pink, and it's got different coloured bubbles as well, and I think the other one was called Norwegian Fur, and it was green with sort of the traditional red and gold minis, I think it was. They were just beautiful sets, and I was so thrilled to be able to work with Tracy on this one. But yeah, I'm really pleased with these. These just really feel like me. They're really sort of simple but whimsical, and that is my favourite. Favourite thing, favourite design, favourite style, favourite look. So yeah, I'm really happy with those. They're called the Tinsel Tree socks. I can't remember if I mentioned that, and it's so lovely actually because I've bought out a few patterns in the last few months, and it's so lovely for me that people have embraced them still, because not being able to be present on the podcast and not particularly on Instagram, it's such a busy world, isn't it? So I think I do imagine that I will very quickly be forgotten, because it is busy, and that's fine, and completely understandable. There's loads of people doing lots of exciting things, and it's right there in front of you on your phone or something. So when people do still buy my patterns, still knit them, still sort of show me what they're doing and stuff, it's really special, because it's just lovely still having that connection, even if I can't sort of be present in it as much as I was before. So yeah, I appreciate that, thank you. This was another pattern that I recently released, and it's called the Scattered Kisses hat, and I designed a pair of socks a couple of years ago called the Scattered Kisses socks, and I just love this little stitch. It's actually the same stitch that's used on these socks, just in a different way, and that's exactly what I mean. It's sort of, you can just draw with it, and I just love that. So this hat's just covered in little kisses, and this was knit in beehive yarns, in the sock base and the mohair base, both in the Turkish Delight colourway. And Turkish Delight just makes me happy because it makes me think of Narnia. If you're my age, then you might have, and in this country, you might have seen the, oh, there's a bit of fluff on there. You might have seen the BBC adaptation of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I remember every Sunday settling down in front of the telly to watch the new episode of Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and it was just my favourite thing. I absolutely loved it. I still have it on DVD and still watch it whenever I can. But yeah, Turkish Delight always makes me think of watching, like settling down on the sofa with my mum, watching Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. So yeah, that was gorgeous. I also knit it in this yarn, which is one that I dyed a while back, and I think it was a Kid Silk Haze, Rowan Kid Silk Haze one. But yeah, that was a practice one. I also knit a blue one for Mum and a DK weight one, which my son wears. So I really enjoyed it. It's such a quick pattern. Hats are just so lovely, aren't they, because they're so quick and fun to do. And I actually released another pattern. Ah, they are in here. I have this bag that I made and it's full of socks that I've designed, because if I'm designing a new one, I quite like looking through the other ones that I've done before. Now, I haven't cut the ends off these. I just tucked them inside. Stuff at the moment, because I'm constantly on call with my son. Honestly, I don't know how people with more children do it. He's just... he takes absolutely all of my time, and I can't imagine anything better than being with him. He's just an absolute bundle of joy. He's incredible. But yeah, so things have to be done quite quickly nowadays, so certain shortcuts have to be made. So the ends have been sewn in but not actually trimmed. But these are the Primrose pudding socks that I designed a while back, and funnily enough, I think I released these a couple of months ago, maybe September or something. I wanted to get them out in the spring. These are actually what I cast on for my Christmas Eve cast on last year. I had this idea that I wanted to do a really fun little cuff, and I had this yarn from Down Sheepy Lane, and just knew I wanted to use it in some sort of really cute, whimsical way. So yeah, I cast these on Christmas Eve last year and finally got them out 9 months later, because that's my time frame at the moment. But yeah, they're the Primrose pudding socks. So there's no sewing together or sewing up, you just knit them together. They're worked from the top down. And you do the cuffs separately, knit them together, and then work on the rest of the sock. And it's got a short row heel in this one to keep the stripes consistent. So yeah, I think that's all that I've recently released. I just wanted to show you them because I'm so pleased with them, and I'm always so pleased when I see people working on them. It is honestly the best feeling. Just having some Yorkshire tea, toast and jam. It's my favourite at the moment. And as is my tea, always now, it's cold. But never mind. Okay, so I thought I'd show you what I'm working on at the moment. This has been getting most of my time recently. I do hope the light's okay. The sun is coming in through mist through the window, but it looks a bit dark on the camera, so I hope it's not too dark. So this is my Turtle Dove 2. It's by Espace Tricot, and I don't know what happened. I think it's just the weather changing. I've got obsessed with roll necks, but I can't bear wearing roll necks, and I thought, oh, maybe I'd be fine with it now. I just get really claustrophobic having things around my neck. I thought, oh, maybe I'll be fine with it now. So all I've been seeing are patterns for roll necks. All the things that I've been seeing that I've wanted to knit have been roll necks. So I thought, maybe I've grown out of that. I'll try it. So I got yarn for this, and then I got yarn for another pattern the Weekend Slipover by Petite Knit. It's also a roll neck. I cast this on. I tried it on. I've only knit 2.5 inches as opposed to, I think it was 4 in the pattern, because I got a tape measure and 4 would just be too much, and no, I couldn't do it. I'd love to, I think they look so lovely, but no. My friend Deb has knit this as well a couple of times I think, and she just knit it to 2.5 and it just seemed like the right amount for me. But anyway, I tried it on as it is, because that's a good length for a roll neck for me, but ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm going to carry on, and I think I'll maybe roll the roll neck in, or maybe out, I don't know, I'll have to see which looks best, and catch it down so that it's shorter. Or maybe I'll like it. Maybe once it's done, I'll like it. Who knows? Oh, that's one of my son's favourite things to say at the moment. So maybe, who knows? It's the loveliest thing you've ever heard. Yeah, so I just split for the sleeves this morning. I'm just working on the body now. This yarn, oh, it's really soft. I hope it's not going to be scratchy. But it's Drops Air. Let me get, I've got my other balls down here. It's a blown yarn, so it's the yarn, all the fibres are blown through a tube. And it makes it really light and airy, because I think it's classed as a bulky weight or something. This is colour 2, I think it was beige. Alpaca, polyamide and wool. I think the polyamide part is the tube, and I'm knitting it on 5.5mm needles, and I actually used a bigger needle for the roll neck as well. I used a 5 instead of a 4.5 because of the, just thought it it's so silly, it makes me just feel really weird. I don't know why I want to knit so many roll necks, but so it wasn't tight, really tight around my neck. Keep looking in the camera and seeing that the light's really bad, but I do hope you can still see. I've put my sleeves on these cords. I was watching my friend Tracy's vlogmas, she's Comfy Red Couch, and she's got these tube things that you put on the end of your needle. You probably have seen these before, but I am just so out of the loop right now. These tubes that you put on the end of your needle, so you jam the tube on there. Oh, I can't do it, there it is. Jam the tube on, and then you can slip your stitches off, and it's for trying on really, I think. But I didn't have my notions case with me, so I didn't have a needle, so I couldn't put my sleeves on waste yarn, but I did have these in my bag because I've only just bought them. So I hope they don't mind holding my sleeve stitches and having a knot in them for a while. In an ideal world I would have put it on waste yarn so that I didn't have to use these for a long time, because I do think that they're mostly just for trying on, so quite short term, have knots in for quite a short amount of time. But anyway, I had them and didn't have the other thing, so it was get up and find the other thing and not be able to knit anymore, or use these and carry on knitting. So I chose the latter. But they're really good. I've used it to try on this jumper, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. But they're really, really brilliant. They're from the Knitting Barber, and you get 3 cords in a tin, 2 shorter ones and 1 longer one, so 2 that are a good length for sleeves and 1 that's a good length for body stitches. I got mine from the Uncommon Thread, and they came really quickly, which was good because I was really excited about them, so very eager for them to come. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I bought this at the same time that I bought some yarn to knit the Weekend Slipover. I think I bought some Drops Lima and some Drops Brushed Alpaca silk in white, which is just a ridiculous colour when I spend all of my time with a little boy who likes to touch everything. But never mind, I'm sure I'll be able to wash it. I just really like white at the moment and light colours. So anyway, I'm going to carry on with this, and I'm really enjoying the actual knitting of it. It's just one of those things that constantly I'm thinking, oh, this is just going to look dreadful on me. Oh, that neck's going to be so uncomfortable. But I love it. So, and this Drops Air comes in so many nice colours. So I'd like to use it again, if it is nice when I'm actually wearing it. And I've heard such good things about it, so I'm sure it will be. Other things that I'm knitting at the moment. I'm knitting this other garment. I can't remember. I think this... Oh, I think they might be coming back in, so I'll have to wrap this up. I think this is my 4th love note. Yeah, they're coming back in. And I'm knitting this in tweed. I don't know if you can see. It's gorgeous tweed from the Knitting Shed. And some drops brushed alpaca. I just love my love notes. I wear, especially one of them, I don't think you can you see the tweedy bits in there? Love it. Especially one of my love notes that I knit in some Dusty Dimples yarn, and some plain white stuff like this, but from Chester Wool Co. And there's the brushed alpaca silk. I just wear it all the time, so, and it's such a pleasant pattern to knit. You really don't, oh, it's in that bag. You really don't have to think a great deal. Like, you do the increases for the neck and it's just on a couple of rows, so you increase a lot on a couple of different rows. Then you do the lace pattern, and then you increase the raglan stitches on every row, just for a few rows, so there's no thinking, oh, is this an increase row or is this a plain row? And then when you finish those increase rows, you take the stitches off, then work on the body for a period of time. So it's just really pleasant. And then the sleeves, even the sleeves are pleasant because they fit on a or my size, they fit on a 16-inch needle, so I can just knit round and round, and there are no decreases until the cuff because it's sort of a balloon type sleeve. So it's just my perfect pattern, really. I get so bored of sleeves, or just infuriated. I don't enjoy knitting sleeves at all because of remembering that you have to decrease all the time. And I know it's so silly, it's for such a short amount of time relatively, but that's one of the reasons I absolutely love these, because you can just knit away without having to remember to do anything except stop knitting when it's the right length. And because I've knit these quite a few times now, I sort of know the row count for each part, so I can just count rows instead of measuring, which I also much prefer. So yeah, that's a Tin Can Knits pattern. I'm loving knitting at the moment. I sort of had a time where I wasn't really knitting very much. Oh, I was obsessed with crochet blankets. Maybe in a little while I'll show you. I just didn't have this. It's just exhausting time, isn't it? And it's an exhausting time, and we're lucky enough to be able to keep ourselves pretty safe. But all I could focus on was crochet blankets, granny squares, and that was all I was doing. But now I'm just loving knitting again. I want to knit all the garments, I think, because it's so chilly. I was texting my mum yesterday and saying, oh, I really want to cast on something new. Oh, I've got this yarn, shall I cast on this? And I was like, yeah, Go ahead. Do what you like, Dani. But yeah, she constantly gets to hear about my obsessions. I got these as well when I haven't actually opened them yet. When I ordered my knitting cords from the knitting, the Uncommon Thread, I got these little labels. They say, "You are loved." I'm just going to put them in the back of my garments. I'm also knitting a cardigan for my son somewhere. That is on pause at the moment while I'm obsessed with knitting garments for me. I thought a little bit of self-love is always good, isn't it? And if you're making for others, they're a lovely thing to add. So I'm also knitting mittens for my son. I hope they fit him because he seems to grow overnight, just a huge amount. But his favourite colour at the moment is purple. So I'm knitting in these. They're so sweet. This is yarn from Beehive Yarns, and it's from the Crystal Visions Yarn Club that she did last year, and I did every month. It's one of those where you can just sign up every month, and I really like those because I can't usually justify a huge lump of money at one time for a whole year. And so if you're doing it just month by month, it's just spreads out the cost. I find it much more manageable, and it means you don't have to do it every month if you don't want to, but you can if you want. And I did do it every month because every time I got the yarn I thought, oh, this is so lovely, I can't wait to see what it is next month. And I haven't actually used any of them, except this is the first one that I've started to use. They're just so beautiful. It's so tricky, isn't it? Because I do tend to hoard my beautiful yarns, but then you don't get the pleasure of actually making with it, so it doesn't make sense. So I'm really trying not to. So this was me pushing myself to not save things indefinitely and just use them and enjoy them. And I know my son will. Well, actually, I was going to say I know my son will love these, but he doesn't keep mittens on for any period of time at all, so he probably won't. But I'm going to make a cord so that they can be poking out of his coat. So I'll enjoy seeing them anyway, even if he's not wearing them. Oh, they're coming in now. But I think this was the amethyst colourway, and it's just beautiful. It's got little flecks of blue and pink and gold and yellow. It's gorgeous. I held it double and used the World's Simplest Mittens, I think it is, from Tin Can Knits. And I used one of these needles. I wonder which one. Hopefully it won't take, well, I think that's a 2.25, so I definitely didn't use that. I don't know why that's in there. And then this is a 3.75 and a 4.5. So I think I used the 4.5 for the cuff and the 3.75, no, the 3.75 for the cuff and the 4.5 for the main body of it. Oh, I'm getting a visitor. But yeah, I got this lovely little basket from Elm Tree Yarns. Lovely Liberty quilted basket, really sweet. I think I'm going to get a visitor. And then this is something else I've been knitting. I've only got a couple more projects, so we'll see how much. This is also for my son. Little hat. It's lovely. It's got a little point on the top. I used Malabrigo Rios in the Bobby Blue. No, it's not Rios, it's Malabrigo Worsted in Bobby Blue. And it's their single ply. Hello. Oh, you've got my vitamins. Thank you, baby. Oh, you're having your vitamin. Lovely. Oh, okay. I'll be back. My little visitor's gone. Back outside. After bringing me my vitamins. What have I done with those? And having his. He loves having his vitamins in the morning. He's honestly just an absolute dream. I don't know how I got so lucky. It looks so dark. I do hope you can see. It looks very dark. So yeah, I was just talking about this hat, and I can't remember the pattern name, but I have got the, oh no, I've got it on my phone. I think it only goes, oh, do you know, I can't remember anything about it. If you want to know the pattern, leave a comment and I will find the pattern and let you know. But I knit him a hat, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before now, but it's one over the head, round here with a neck thing. And it's the best because it stays on and he really likes it. So I thought I'd knit another one, but slightly different, just to have a change. And this one's knit flat from, you're right Bob, from this corner over to the other corner, and then you Kitchener the seam at the back, and then you pick up all the stitches at the bottom and knit down for a neck. And I did that slightly differently because I wanted it to flow better. So I don't think I picked up how many stitches I was supposed to. I knit this at my mum's house, so it's covered in merlin hair, and it's covered in merlin hair because he attacks yarn. I'm not used to it because Teddy has absolutely no interest in yarn at all. But Merlin, I left this on the side, on the sofa for a minute, and then there he was, all four paws around the yarn, kicking it with his back legs. He is a little character. But yeah, I think I picked up a different amount of stitches, and then I increased a little bit just so that it goes out a little bit. I've tried it on him and it fits, so I just need to sew in the ends. I don't think I'll bother blocking it because it's ribbed, so it'll just, honestly, the hairs, it will stretch to fit his head nicely. So yeah, and that Malabrigo worsted has been in my stash for absolutely years, so it's really nice using it. And then my last thing that I will show you, because my battery is running out and David needs to go out to get his booster today, is the Tsutu bear from Cynthia, I think. Oh my goodness, would you look at that absolutely adorable little bear. He's so cute. I thought that I'd make him for the top of my son's stocking, but it's the 19th now and I'm not going to anymore. There's not enough time, and I think he's not really into cuddly toys at all. He sort of sometimes likes them, but he's not got a favourite one or anything, so I don't think he'll miss it if I don't get it done in time. So I think I'll do it at a more leisurely pace, but it's so cute. It's knit on 2mm needles, so tiny. I'm using some leftover Blacker Swan from my Josephine cardigan by East London Knit, and it's lovely and soft, gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. It's making gorgeous bear, and this is the start of one of his jumpers, and I have to say the bear, I thought it would be quite fiddly, and the bear wasn't that fiddly, but the jumper was a bit of a palaver. So yeah, I've done the body and I need to add on sleeves. This is some single ply from my stash. I don't know what it is. I think I got it in a swap, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous sort of tealy green colour that you probably can't see because it's so dark. But this sort of a fisherman's rib one, and then I need to put sleeves on, but it was so fiddly that I didn't want to do it anymore. So yeah, and I've got some other yarns. Oh, I think I knitted a hat as well, didn't I? It was a little while ago. Oh, knitted a little hat, I forgot. My goodness, look at that. It's got 2 little holes in for the ears to come out. It's just so cute. Her patterns, oh my goodness, they're adorable. A little mole, a bunny rabbit and a mouse. Just the sweetest things. But yeah, he'll get that one day. Maybe by the time he gets it, he might be more interested in cuddly toys. We'll see. Anyway, I'd better go because yeah, David needs to get off and my battery's going to run out. I might record a little bit more. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just been so nice sitting down and having a chat with you. I hope it didn't feel like I was just zooming through those projects. I feel massively out of practice, but yeah, I'm just knitting quite a few things at the moment, or have done recently, and I'm very enthused about all of them. So if I don't speak to you again, I do hope you'll join in with Christmas Eve cast on, and I hope you like my new pattern. I've seen some people getting their yarns ready. The colour options are endless with these, really. So yeah, I can't wait to see what people chose. My test knitters, just a wonderful, wonderful bunch of people, and the colours that they chose were so fantastic and inspiring. Hang on, I have another pattern that I've recently released that I haven't shown you. My battery's definitely going to die, but these were one of my favourites. Hang on. In the absolute melee of getting all my bits together in 5 seconds flat, I dropped these on the way. So these are my rose petal sandwich socks that I designed a little while back, and I really love these. I think these are one of my favourite designs that I've done, and they use the same stitch because you see how you can just draw with it. It's so fun. And these have got a garter stitch. There's sort of a rib garter stitch at the back with this squiggly line, and I've done pink toes, pink cast on. This is Biff Sugar Yarns in the Beatrix sock set. Comes with both the colours. It's just perfect for this pattern. I just love these. It's so lovely to love them as well, because designs for me, they go through such a period of oh, I've got this idea, oh, let me try this out, and then, oh god, what am I doing, this is the worst thing I've ever done. And then it gets to a stage where I think, oh no, hang on, I like this actually, usually if I've put it away for a little while. But yeah, these I'm really, really pleased with. These were a Brambley Hedge inspired design called Rose Petal Sandwiches, because they make rose petal sandwiches. The food in Brambley Hedge is just, they just have the most wonderful words, old names for the food, so I've used that quite a few times in my designs. I did as well with the honey cream socks, which I've sewn in the ends but haven't trimmed. But these ones, I can't remember if I've shown you these. I can't remember how long ago it was that I actually recorded a podcast, but I really love these as well. These are with some knitting shed. I can't remember the colourway of that. I really love this base from the knitting shed. Anyway, see, now I've got you here, I don't want to let you leave, but I must. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today, and thank you so much for your continued support with my patterns. I appreciate it so very much. So yeah, if I don't speak to you again, I might pop on again and show you what I've decided to cast on for my Christmas Eve cast on, hopefully. But if I don't, I hope you have a lovely Christmas if that's something you're celebrating. And if you're celebrating something different, I hope you enjoy it. If you're not celebrating, anything, any actual holiday, then I just hope you're happy, and I hope you're well, and I hope you're safe. So yeah, I hope to see you very, very soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. I'm back. We've been for a bike ride and had lunch. David's home now. I've made a chai latte, so I thought I'd come and show you my crochet blankets. And there's Teddy, teddy bear. I've just shut the door, so obviously he wants to go out now. Teddy, why don't you come sit down? No. Teddy is not happy unless he's protesting about something. Go on then, Ted. Bye-bye. Such a funny cat, that one. Yeah, I thought I'd come and show you my crochet blankets. I mentioned that I'd been crocheting. Oh, and I had a look at the video that I just did. I've been able to lighten it up a little bit in iMovie. And I remembered I hadn't mentioned that these are part of the Brambly Hedge collection, I guess you could call it, although I haven't made it as a collection to sell as a collection. It's just a collection of patterns inspired by Brambly Hedge. These are Brambly Hedge ones as well. Primrose pudding is another food stuff that is talked about in there. Yes, so I thought I'd show you my crochet blankets. So I think it was about June, July sort of time. And I wasn't making a lot. I was feeling this, it's just been a roller coaster really, this pandemic, hasn't it? I found it has been anyway, and I'm absolutely certain I'm not alone in that. And I just wasn't really making much, and sort of trying to find my way with being a mum and doing it alone a lot of the time, and all of that stuff. It was heavy and hard, so I just didn't have the brain space to make or have inspiration and stuff. It just wasn't coming. So I was chatting to my friend Alice one day, she's Homebody Diaries on Instagram, and she just got this, or she was just about to start this kit for a crochet blanket that she'd got. And you know how it is sometimes when you're not feeling particularly inspired, but then something comes, and it can just be a yarn that you suddenly see in a new light, or you see something someone else is making and it just sparks something, and you think, no, that is what I want to be doing right now. so she was making it from an Attic 24 kit, and so I got one and started to make the same blanket, and it was just exactly what I needed. The colours were set out row by row. You had the colour that you were going to be working with, you bought the yarn as a pack, you really didn't have to think, and that was just what I needed at the time. Just something for my hands to be busy, my mind to be occupied in a sort of meditative, repetitive sense, but not have to think. I think I'm going to get a visitor. Hang on. Maybe not. Maybe David's just come up for something. So it was the hydrangea stripe blanket, and I haven't worked with acrylic for a really long time. I really enjoyed it. It's so different from my granny stripe blanket, which I did all in sock yarn scraps, because it's so much lighter, but still nice and cozy. I haven't finished this yet. I've done probably I think there are something like 88 rows. Oh, I haven't marked it on here. Where am I? I'm on Parma Violet, or Mushroom, I think I'm on. I'm on row 36 out of 88, so I'm not even halfway, but I'm over a third. But I think I might carry it on if I've got enough yarn, because doesn't seem like it's going to be big enough, but it might. I might just be imagining it. But it's just so lovely. The slightly less lovely part is that, because of course I'm not doing them as I go, but oh, it was just exactly what I needed, and then it sparked other thoughts, and then my mind felt calmer, so I was able to get more into making. So it was just the start of good brain stuff, really. Can you see? It's such a simple crochet pattern, and I love the colours. This is the hydrangea stripe blanket, and this is the hydrangea pack. So I just loved the fact that I did not have to think. I really like it. They're all the different colours together. The balls are a little bit more depleted now. But then, so I was doing that, and then I thought, what I'd really like to do is some sort of granny square blanket. So I went back on and I had another look at the colour packs, because I just needed the colours to all be chosen for me. It's funny, because one of the things I really enjoy about projects is choosing colours, but my mind just wasn't capable for a while. I just wasn't able to have those thoughts. So I went on and I bought the original colour pack, and I had seen this blanket, I think it was on Rachel Blondell's Instagram. She wrote the Granny Chic book with Dottie Angel. Is that right? I think so. Yeah. And I saw this blanket on her Instagram years ago. I think it was like, what year are we even in now? I think it was like 6 years ago or something. It was quite a long time ago, and I'd saved it in my favourites. I thought, I must make one of those one day. It just looked so cosy and lovely. She hadn't used a pattern. She'd just done granny squares, and then randomly dotted in a granny square, like solid granny squares, and then randomly dotted in one with different colours. So there wasn't a pattern to follow, so I did have to use my brain a little bit. Although now I have actually seen that Sandra Cherry Heart has a granny patches blanket like this. I think it's called Granny Patches or something like that. So I could have used a pattern, but I didn't know that at the time. But I got this original pack. Gosh, this is a ramble, isn't it? For my colours. And then I found online this granny square colour random generator thing. So you go in and you put in all of your colours that you're using. You sort of choose them on a colour wheel type thing, and it will randomly plot your colours on a, it's not called a graph, thing with squares, a certain amount of squares this way by a certain amount of squares this way, and it will plot it out for you. And so it was perfect because I didn't have to think. So I put in all the colours, put in the size of my blanket, and I kept on pressing generate because it would generate some and I wouldn't like how they came out, so I'd keep pressing generate until one came out that I liked. And then one came out that I liked and I crocheted this blanket. And you know, I enjoyed this so much. I've done 6 round granny squares and then joined as I go, so there was no sewing up. There are still ends on this. I finished this a few months ago, we've been using it, but there are still ends. And it's so not my usual colour scheme. It's so bright and quite garish. But I absolutely love this. I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing, so I'll just show you a little bit. So it plotted out this colours, where the colours were going to go, and then I chose every so often where I was going to do a square with a few different colours. I just love it. And then while I was making it, I found the Granny Patches blanket by Sandra Cherry Heart, and it had a edging like this. So I decided to use that edging on my blanket. I think it was like this. I might have done a few extra rows, I can't quite remember, but it was pretty much this, if it wasn't exactly this. I think I might have done a couple of extra colours, but I can't remember. But yeah, I think that's my favourite multicoloured square. These colours are just so bright. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And then, because I enjoyed that so much, I thought, well, I need to do another one, don't I? It was so pleasant. Oh, I like that one as well. There's some of my ends. I've sewn in most of my ends. There are just sort of probably about 20 or so in the middle that I need to do. And I will get round to at some point, but it's not urgent. But yeah, so I wanted to make another one. So I got the June pack, I think it was called. And it's much softer colours. And I've started one in this. And I started this August, September sort of time. And I haven't picked it up again. It really sort of fulfilled a need for me and got me back into the making frame of mind, which I just appreciated so much. But this is my little chart. So I went in again on that random generator thing and plotted out my colour scheme. Oh, and then I think I did this in paper 53, I think it's called, on my iPad, and coloured it in just so it was a bit prettier. And then I've got the key in all the different colours down the bottom. So yeah, I've just done these ones in the corner at the moment, and I just work my way out. And it's so nice having this map to follow. And then I've starred various ones. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I've put stars on various ones where there seem to be a lot of that colour in the same area, and they're the ones that I'll do the multicoloured squares. Yeah, I haven't got all the colours in here, I've just got a few there for the sort of next surrounding squares. I just thought I'd show you those because I enjoyed them so much. They yeah, got me out of a little hole, so I really needed those. I really enjoyed them, and it was so fun actually, because yeah, I don't really use acrylic, and I don't really crochet very often, so I think doing something completely different like that just helped pull me out of the place I was in. Got a chai latte, so nice. It's nothing fancy. I'd love to make a fancy one day, but I still haven't got round to it. It's just a chai tea bag with some maple syrup and some hot milk and cinnamon on top. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to knit for my Christmas Eve cast on, so I need to go and have a look at yarn. But so maybe I'll go and do that, and then I will bring them back and show you. Sorry I'm not changing the position of the camera or like showing you more interesting things today, but it's just a time thing. And I'd quite like this video to go out as soon as possible, so that I know that it actually will get out. Right, so I'm going to go and take my tea and have a look for some yarn, and then I'll bring back whatever I can find and show you. See you in a minute. Okay, so the light is going. I've had a look at all my yarn and I'm still not certain what I'm going to use, but I had an idea that I thought it would be quite fun if I did these like inspired by hot chocolate. So what I was looking for was sort of a nice chocolatey brown, but I don't have anything sort of a deep chocolatey brown. And then I would do these as like the marshmallows. So I was thinking that proper like pretty pink of a marshmallow, or white, but I wanted to be pink, I think. So that's what I was looking for, and I don't have that in my stash. I'd quite like just a solid. Do you know what would be perfect is what I used for my iced sugar cookie socks year before last. That's another one of my Christmas patterns, and that was the perfect brown. It would have been lovely for this, but I don't have that anymore because I've used it. So I found these three as contenders, although I might still have a look in my stash. My stash is all in these big vacuum bags now because I don't get to it quite as often, so it's a little bit more difficult to look through. So, and the light's going, so I might have another look. But I found these. This one is a sparkly one, don't know if you can see, and this is from the Wool Barn. I don't even know the colour. I don't think Maya dyes this one anymore. I got this from her at the first Curious Handmade Country House Retreat, which was heaven, a few years ago. So yeah, I could use that. I thought that could be hot chocolatey. Then I found this pink for the marshmallows, but it's not the exact right pink. And I think I've got a marshmallowier pink in my stash. But I thought that would work. If you imagine this as the other pink. Although this is quite marshmallowy actually. But I think it's just a little bit too pink. I think I've got something marshmallowier. So yeah, that's an option. Or there's this one, speckled, because I haven't, obviously I did that pattern in a solid white, so I haven't tried it speckled, and a couple of my test knitters did it in speckled and it looks so lovely. So I thought that might be quite fun, and this has got all the browns of hot chocolate, and it's got a bit of white for the hot milk, maybe a bit of froth. So I thought that would work. That's Down Sheepy Lane, that's dough. And then I have this one. This is more of a biscuit. It might even be called biscuit. It is actually. It's called Biscuit. It's from Sweet Georgia. But I thought that could be, it could be a caramel hot chocolate with marshmallows. Oh, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I could do that one. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep looking, but with the inspiration of hot chocolate in mind, I think. Another thing I really want to cast on is some opal socks. I was looking on Instagram the other day and Julie from Suffolk Socks, her post popped up. She was knitting with the most fantastic opal colourway. I can't remember what it was called, but it made me really want to knit with some opal. So yes, that is my plan for my Christmas Eve cast on. Find something chocolatey, hot chocolatey, and find my marshmallowier pink yarn and make socks. So if you're joining in for Christmas Eve cast on, I would love to see what you're casting on, what yarn you're using, what pattern you're doing, and all of that stuff. It's always been so lovely in years past doing that cast on all together, and yeah, just sharing that little moment at Christmas time. It was really nice last year because things were so different, to have that sort of familiar thing. It was really comforting, so I love that. And this year's probably going to be different as well, isn't it? So it will be really lovely again. But anyway, I shall stop rambling. I can't wait to see what you're using for your Christmas Eve cast on. Thank you so much for watching. I think I said goodbye ages ago in the video, so I just, yeah, really hope that you're well and happy. And I will hopefully see you very soon. And maybe if I don't leave it quite as long, I won't have quite so much to show you. So it might be a bit more of a succinct video next time. But anyway, I hope to see you soon. Bye.